We all gathered here to remember our beloved teacher, Nadgir, on his 100th centenary, and pay our tributes and salutations. He was my teacher, my favorite teacher, till I left the school after completing my SSLC way back in 1945. And therefore, having the privilege of being the oldest student of the Nadgir Master. So I seem to know more about Nadgir Master, and also benefited more from Nadgir Master than any one of the teachers here. Whenever I visited Dharwad, the relationship continued. I never missed an opportunity of going to his house and touching his feet and feet his classes. I have never missed getting a cup of milk so fondly given to me. I would like to read 2 letters he wrote to me in his own beautiful handwriting which I preserved, to show how concerned a teacher was even after I left the school. He was concerned with my welfare. He was concerned with my joys and sorrows. The first letter I would like to read is of 12th March 1984, almost 40 years after I ceased to be a student. I seek your permission to read it. I was shocked to read in the papers regarding the sudden and sad demise of your dear mother, Srimati Shanta Devi. My heart goes out to you to console you in this hour of bereavement, but I am at a loss to know how to do it. Mother is a mother after all, the most precious being on earth, and none can take her place. There is a teaching in every one of these instances. As a victim of the curse of motherliness, I am fully aware of the pangs of separation from that precious life you are lucky to be blessed with, your mother's presence for a pretty long period. That is the tribute he gives to mother, and that is what he inculcates in you, the respect that you should develop for your mother. That's the way of teaching. That is the way he teaches me in 1984. I also hold that you owe these valuable traits: patience, perseverance, sweetness of temper, balanced approach to life problems, etc. to your mother. That's all. It's a great lesson for us to teach the students to what your mother needs and how you should respect what every one of us, our mother. And these are values, these are things that are not written in your textbook. The most of the teaching of Nadgir Master Ji, which has genuine and which have lasted for my life, are those beyond the textbook. I would like to read the other letter. It all comes from the heart of the teacher. And that is what, you can see what Nadgir Master was to the sentiment he expressed 14 years later than that, when I got the Rajyotsava award. We are all immensely pleased to see that you are a recipient of Rajyotsava award for this year. I am happy that our government has almost awakened to the realization of the fact that you are a name to be reckoned with in the area of judiciary. Better late than never. You had the honor of delivering the convocation address in the Karnataka University, and you were awarded doctorate degree 4 or 5 years later by the same university. You have rendered yeoman service in the field of judiciary by delivering large judgment as the Chief Justice of Karnataka and Kerala High Court. Your intellectual and legal achievements could reputation in the field of human rights long back. Now our government is recognizing it. How late? Well, this is what we are. We wholeheartedly offer our warmest congratulations. Look at the teacher. 50 years later, a past student, something bad happens to him, sad happens to him, something good happens to him, he is there to share with that amount of sincerity and coming from the core of his heart. He was an excellent teacher, far excellent teacher, and what he taught subject-wise is not that important what he taught outside the classroom. Why is Nadgir Master so special? Why do you remember him after such a long time? Why are all the students of his so nostalgic to remember Nadgir Master? It is not because of the information that he imparted, it is the knowledge that he imparted in the classroom, in the textbook he gave, but it is the love and caring of Nadgir Master by which he inculcated values in us. That is what distinguishes Nadgir Master from us. Therefore, Nadgir Master was loved by everyone. In spite of our receiving beating from him, we love him. That's distinguishing. And that is the loving care, that is the affection that the teacher should bear towards the children. That makes the difference. It is not the content of information that you pump in the student. That of course is a part of your duty and you do that. But it is the caring of by the teacher that has distinguished him from others. The Privy Council has said that the teacher has the same privileges as a parent, and therefore the teacher is entitled to treat the student as the mother or the father would do. The time for the teachers now, the teachers of Nadgir Master's time is different. The teachers face different problems at the present time, and that is the reason why today the society, you find more crime, more criminals, and more corrupt people, more sexually abusing people, and you see the entire nation is facing these problems. I wish, I'm sorry to say that, I wish many more teachers represent here today to know what Nadgir Master meant, why we loved and why I admired, and what we lacked and what is our responsibility. That is the most important part of the educational responsibility. According to Dr. Radhakrishnan, the aim of education is to train us to apprehend the eternal values, to appreciate the supreme human virtues and simple decencies of life. We must educate not for cruelty and power, but for love and kindness. This is what I am emphasizing. This is what Nadgir Master stood for, love and kindness. And whatever he taught us as what he means as a part of character building. Train human beings by unconscious influence, and conscious effort to live truth, beauty, and goodness. This is the type of life which Nadgir Master Ji lived. To sum up the life of Nadgir Master Ji, I can't do anything better than Robert Louis Stevenson's statement. Love begins when we care for others and take trouble to bring comfort to those in pain and suffering. That this is what symbolizes the life of Nadgir Master Ji. He lived a life as a worthy life one is expected to live. And that is what we are expected to learn. And most of these things are not classroom topics, not classroom teaching, and they are outside. And therefore time has come time has come for the teachers not to rest content with the completion of the portion in the image. That of course is necessary. The character building, part of the responsibility is not in your school books, is not in your curriculum, and that is what is made the difference so far as Nadgir Master is concerned. Good speech, given him and gold medals and all that. And these are the very people who are the worst perpetrators that you find in the country. Therefore, there is something lacking in the education that we are imparting. And therefore, it is necessary for professors like Guru Raj and others for great education. This is a matter to be addressed too. This is a matter that is of most importance. It is not that we produce intellectual giants. We have to produce virtuous people, men of character and men of integrity. That's why it is said, if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. And that is the stage at which we are at present. After 100 years of Nadgir Master's life, we are now placed in a different situation where character is lost and therefore everything is lost. Whose responsibility it is? It's the parents' responsibility, it's the teacher's responsibility. And since we are here among in the education institution, and it is, I think, we have to realize this is our responsibility. And the teachers must put their heads together. Well, this is the problem I am seeing, what we should do. And evolve ways and means of addressing these problems. And that is a challenge for the present day teacher. And that is a challenge which has to be met if the society has to survive and if our future is to be good for our children. Einstein said, he gave an answer to it. He said, all these values are not written in the stars. We have known them for years, centuries. Don't lie, don't steal, don't kill, don't put your eye on another's wife. For all these things known for ages. There's nothing new to be learned. Then the very persons who know this is wrong, why do they do it? Then Einstein says he does it under the compulsions of animals. We are all animals first. And it is only the training of animals makes you behave differently than an animal. And it's the training of these animals that is the real purpose of education. And that is what we are not addressing to that problem. We every day hear and read newspapers, we go on making laws. Laws are not going to change. They are only going to punish. They made Nirbhaya incident took place, immediately a Verma Commission was appointed, all right, go and more strict punishment and all that sort of thing. And immediately the ordinance was issued, followed by law. And we have washed our hands. We have done the best thing. To tell the woman who is punished, all right, if you are raped, I am going to hang that fellow. Are you satisfied? Is that the assurance the woman wants? Woman wants not to be raped. It is no satisfaction that the law comes in the future and says it hides him. That is no consolation. And how do you achieve this? You cannot achieve this by law. It can only be achieved by inculcating these values. And who have to do it? It is the teacher. And these values have to be inculcated. And we are unmindful about it. We only have to say, make a law, this thing, those things. Everything. And the laws cannot go on entering the bedrooms and kitchens and all that. Laws is so limited. And it is ultimately the character building is the essence of the matter. And that is what our saints and sages, our forefathers, paid attention to, and we have neglected. We are only concerned with career. We are concerned with getting marks, more marks. We are going concerned with big posts. We are concerned with making big money by hook or crook. The greatest challenge to the entire society is crisis of character. And crisis of character is one which has to be faced squarely and deeply, and that I feel has been must remember to realize what our responsibility is, what Nadgir Master did in his own lifetime. He paid attention to our chastity. He did it outside the classroom. He better taught us the right thing to do. And that is most important. We forget how many teachers and how many schools have assembled, the teachers assembly, because we see the teachers molesting the students, father molesting the child, and gurus molesting the old shishya. All this is happening. What is the teaching community has done to address these questions? First is to purify themselves, and second is to purify the society. And therefore, the need of the hour is not just paying tribute to Nadgir Master. He has earned enough, and he has lived a worthwhile life, and he has earned the gratitude of all of us. And what is required is what we should do as worthy followers of Nadgir Master. And that is really the character, and that is a challenge to the teaching community. That is a challenge to the education. That is a challenge to persons like Dr. Guru Raj. Thank you very much.